Saturday as above, so below. Satiric energy. To each and every one of you guys, first of all, salutations to my Madrina, to my Vadrino, to my Oba, to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Ajays. To each and every one of you guys that are in the church world, that are practicing the ATRs, and those that have left the church, but still have church influence. I want to say to each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for supporting Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. What's up, my Storm and my Sagittarius? How you doing, sweetheart? Um, what's up, love? My Taurus in the house. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to talk about something that what's up, Miranda? Aloha, my Aquarius. Y'all coming in this morning. I didn't even really think people gonna be up. um, but I want to share some of my journey. And and one of the things that I wanted to be a leader is I've always wanted people to see some of the behind scene. I know you can't see everything, you can't know everything. But it's important to understand my spirituality and how it has molded all over the years. Oh Lord, Jesus, it's 12 midnight on the island. Well, I thank you so much, because I keep forgetting time zones all around the world. But I want to discuss, because I've been in the ATRs since a child, and when I got much older, I got involved in other traditions. But what I want to discuss, because sometimes when people see me displaying my a gift and my anointing, and seeing how I display myself and position myself in the church, um, sometimes it's off-putting, uh, um, and sometimes other people are saying, "Okay, he real." Being real in the church will cause you to be ostracized. I want you to know a lot of good characters, and being authentic will cause you to be whether it's indirect or direct or passive or aggressive, cause some that church elders in the black church to chastise you. And I want you to understand, since I was 19, I grew up in church, but I started in ministry um, at 19. A lot of people that decide to practice the ATRs do not feel like they can practice the ATRs in the church. So a lot of people left the church in pursuing of their African roots, even though the church world was utilizing um, African magic. If you black, you your Holy Spirit is African. Um, and I want to say this to protect the foundation of the black church, but I also want to be honest and real, and why a lot of people don't stay in the church. They love church music. They love the preaching. They ain't going. They'll watch it over the internet, but they ain't gonna step foot in nobody's physical church. But they're constantly getting church inspiration, church um, uh, counseling, all that. Because black people have no problem being hypocritical, whether you in the church or you out of the church. Um, you will talk about how destructive the church was, and then turn right around and talk about Psalm 23 that you learn in the church, talk about faith that you learn in the church, talk about praise and honor and all this stuff that you learn in the church. So my point is, it ain't all bad, it ain't all good, and you got to pick your poison, and you got to pick how you come out of the situation. I'm gonna say this. This is a book, because y'all know I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, rise sign. This is thank you so much, moderators, whoever did. Was in 2007. I done been on in magazines. I done been on radio. I done been on TV. But I always had to fight my background. What black people thought about my family. I know the Bible says, "Come as you are," but the church world is not going to accept you for who you are. If you don't fit some type of mold and frame, and let me explain. Even though I'm talking about the church, every elay, if you don't look like them, walk like them, talk like them, it's the same thing. So that's why I say, when you think you're running from the church, the same foolishness is in the ATRs. Because them same black people, how many years you spent in prison? I spent enough time in prison to fuck your daddy down. I had your granddaddy sucking my dick and, proceeding to swallow. So I've been in there that long. Okay, now that my prison time has been exposed. So, and you know why I also agree to this? Because this is what I was talking about last time about our image. Black men and black women have a distorted image about us. And black people might get the most time, but the people that break the law the most are white men. Facts don't lie. But the image is black men, prison. I went and visited a prison, but I ain't never been in prison. I'd have been to jail 3 days. Anyway, because of what I had to go through in the church world, I want you to know that my journey has not been easy to maintain my spirituality. When you practicing Haitian voodoo and everybody in the church world is afraid of you, you find solace in solitude. I have traveled a many miles being to myself, because the people in the church want to use your gift, want you to share. There was no preacher that wanted to come up behind me. I excel above all the rest, and I was young. But my fire, my intention was constantly, my fire was constantly trying to be put out. Because I'm trying not to make it about the leaders in the church, because I deal with it everywhere. And so it ain't just a church. When it comes down to you as a man or woman knowing your heritage and your bloodline, it seems like should be simply embraced, because there is only one God. God got sheep not of their fold. I knew all that. I studied relentlessly. And one of the things that irks me more than anything is that I had to watch people that were judging me and my family do some of the same stuff. I watched drug deals go down in church. I watched people whoring in the church. I watch homosexuality. I mean, everything on both sides of my family that they were judging me. And I've literally had people that had beef with family members trying to have beef with me in the church. When I would pray for people and manifestation would come, you know what they did? Oh, that's the devil. I was healing people and they was yet calling me the devil. I remember I remember when I first started speaking in tongues. They had demonized me so, and they said, the devil got tongues. I had received the infilling of the Holy Ghost. I can laugh about it now, but imagine how heart-wrenching. It didn't matter what I excelled in. They demonized it. I was I was speaking in tongues, prophesying. My prophecy were accurate, and they still. I'm talking about how many people would have been able to flow in your gifts and not leave the church. I want y'all to know it takes a certain type of mind. It takes a certain type of fortitude. You got to be anchored, and you are treated. Everybody want to come to you like Nicodemus. I got so tired of that. You wanted to come up under the disguise of night. Could you pray for me? Could you do the leaders, elders? It didn't even matter. My knowledge that I had, everybody want to learn from me in secret. And then get in your pulpit and act like you got a word from the Lord. This stuff go on in especially our black church. I can't speak for a white church because I ain't never attended a white church. I visited, but I can't speak on that. I've always been in black church, predominantly female pastors, but nonetheless. Um, and so when I saw other preachers operating their gifts, I gravitated towards those people because I thought they would have a better understanding. But let me tell y'all something. Black people do not want to be associated with the ATRs. This is what I mean. I would come in and prophesy. Then you would come in to preach and start prophesying to the very people that I prophesied to. You didn't know this. And you would give them the same word, or pretty much the same word that I gave you. But then when you found out, you called me a devil. We gave the same word. And you went to the exact same people. But because it came from me and the labels that I was up under, this has hurt my ministry in so many years. I've been at ministry since 19. Nobody ain't gonna tell me about black people. And I really want to commend anybody that is open about your spirituality in the church, because it's easy to run and people don't want to say that, but that's what you did. You let them run you out of the church. Just like you gonna let them run you out of the Elay, the Coven. I'm a person, I stand my ground. If and I even in this book right here, in this magazine, I said if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't fool with the church. A lot of my spiritual journey is about standing up, about knowing who you are, about being challenged by the powers that be and standing my ground. I had leaders that would call around, do not let him in your church, or I would have a revival schedule and they would cancel my revivals because elders in the community were talking about, if you let him in there, I ain't gonna fellowship with you. I done been through all that. Black people are trifling. I can see why I should behave like that because you calling me the devil. And I wasn't even doing that. I don't want something to happen to me dead tomorrow and people acting like they were supporter of Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. See what I'm saying? What they're going to do is all of the work that I leave behind, they're going to copy it. They're going to coin it in their own image. But it's coming from somebody you have called Beelzebub for years. No matter how many people I've helped, no matter how many people I have healed, no matter how many people I have been a bridge over their troubled waters, I can't do what some people do. The church is a part of my destiny. I had no intention of being a pastor. Even when my pastor would tell me, "Oh, you're gonna be a great leader," then what? I'm not nobody pastor. I don't know. I was always quick to talk about what I wasn't gonna do. That's why I know what Mother Susan doing. I was quick. My mama told you gonna be a preacher one day. Honey, I got places to go, people to see, and things to do. That was my attitude. So not knowing what my future was gonna be whole and the patterns and I've literally had people prophesy to me in church. Oh, they say your powers come from the Satan, but your powers come from God. I've literally had those in my teens be prophesied to me, and I'm thinking it was somebody else, and it was people that was in the church. Cause one thing about church folk, can't nobody put on a act like they like you, like nobody in church. Church people can put on a Broadway show, and then when you turn your neck, they talking about you like a dog. Only church people. I'm just being honest. So by me being a Sagittarius and all this, when all the line is revealed, I have little to no respect. Cause some of you could not have dealt with the Sam Ely that young, because I would tear your ass up. I'm more patient now that I'm older. And when those people started lying on me, I started defending myself. And when you defend yourself in the church, it's witchcraft. When they defend themselves, it's God not allowing no weapon formed against them to prosper. It's always different, and it was always different with me. Let me speak from my perspective. When I defended myself, it was the devil. When I spoke my visions and dreams, it was the devil. When they had a vision and dream, no matter how, it was the same thing that I said. Oh, that's not devil. That is not of God. God, he working lying signs, wonders, and miracles. But I'm victorious over your ass. The church world with my spirituality has been a journey. It has not been easy. That's why I know so many scriptures about the gifts. That's why I know how to defend myself with church people. I done been to Bible college. I never excel enough in the church to get past that label. Even though it's evident, and they'll tell you, oh, he gifted. They wouldn't even deny my gifts. How strong your mind got to be? Tell me, how strong do your mind have to be? Your emotional state when you're being spiritually abused by elders and with the word. I got the same degree they got. It was it to this day. They'll laugh, smile in my face. Good morning, Sister Jackie. When I try to encourage people, when I say you have to be rooted and grounded in your person, what your purpose is, because whether it's in the church world, whether it's in the Elay, I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, you can lose yourself. And if you don't conform to their image of what they say is God, then you're going to be battling. And you shouldn't be battling in God's house. You shouldn't be battling in an Elay or Covenant or anywhere that is supposed to be a family. You know what? The people, I'm gonna tell y'all something about white people. White men like to be raped. Don't ask me how I know. This is why, when it comes to their religion, they will kill you if you don't believe what they believe. This is what all the Christian crusades were about. I posted about the song Amazing Grace that black people sing often, and where that really come from. A lot of things you promote has to do with the celebration of your torture, of your abuse, of the theft and the robbery and the rapage that white men plundered this earth. And black people don't know enough history. I don't care what kind of melody you put to that. I don't care what kind of tone in your voice. It's still, you can have a beautiful voice and sing about Mary had a little lamb. The story itself is a lie. We put music to our own destruction. This is why other nations don't have no respect for melanated people. Even though melanated people are the cream of the crop, in the church world, I found it very difficult to speak the truth. If I was in a whorehouse, I can speak more truth than them. I don't know, a gambling house, I can speak the truth. The outhouse, I can speak the truth. But black people don't like the truth. If you're trying to separate them from their white Jesus, and I got people on my live right now, you will amen everything I'm saying, and you the one that I'm talking about. You'll watch them do symbolic magic in the church. If I've been doing magic since I was a child, shouldn't I understand what you doing? Even though you calling it something else. You saying the Lord leading you to draw a grave. You Lord is leading you to do XYZ. And you want me to not see what it is. This is why I use the term black people have no problem with living with a contradiction. Black people will sit in the church and praise God and then go to a root worker, which means that you're admitting your pastor doesn't have the capabilities of really guarding and protecting you. All you will do just like you'll do in a relationship. You'll call him your man, your husband, and not and let Mr. Charlie take care of you and him. You have no when this is what I talk about the age of Aquarius. When you find out who you really are, when you find out your own individuality, some of this delusion that you are accustomed to, you will get rid of it. I can't get rid of it for you. I've been true to myself in spite of the church, in spite of doctrine, in spite of being blackballed in the church. I had at first I wasn't getting the hint. So I had a couple of preachers were telling me about they're gonna open up doors for me for revivals and XYZ. I didn't know they were trying to have sex with me. They're male preacher. I'm excited. So the time go on and they want, oh, come to my hotel. I'm like, okay. Because we had revivals. And so one of the preachers, I dress real nice. So he told me, he prophesied to me, and I did it up under the instruction of my pastor at the time. So he told me if I give him my suit, that God was gonna bless me with 5 other suits. So she told me to do it. So after service, I went and changed, but I gave him my suit. I didn't know, and this that got back to me. I didn't know at the time he was chanting over my suit, trying to draw me to him. That's why he wanted the suit that I was wearing. This when I tell you I have been through it in the church, I have killed so many preachers. I ain't even gonna lie. Cause let me tell y'all something. As a whore, that's why I always say that. I ain't never used a church for sex of any kind. I'm gonna say it again. I know that people have revivals and go to church to meet people, but I ain't never did it because I ain't never had to do it. I ain't judging nobody. I'm saying I ain't never had to do it because I was getting enough by my own hand and my own means. So the church world was not a place. I took the church world as a place for my spirituality. And so when I found out that this was the behavior of these preachers, in the church we call it passing sentence. And since I was a major prophet, I passed sentence on them Negroes. So I've had experiences that could have left me in a place not to fool with the church. I'm telling y'all my journeys in the church world, and I've had churches, they membership bow down. I've literally had churches, pastors, elders get on their hands and knees before me. I've literally had preachers bow down, get on their knees in their church clothes unto me. This is my lived experience. It's not exaggerated. It's people that can verify. I don't come on social media trying to become something. I've always been that person. And I'm way stronger now. This is why when people come around me trying to act like I don't see you, I don't. When you put on fronts around somebody that's already see you and accept you for who you are, that's why people don't understand why I'm always saying I'm not here to judge. I done been through too much. I know that the last thing you need to come into church is to be judged. Some of y'all come around me and the level of freedom that I give y'all to be yourselves, some of y'all go too far. But you don't choose the fish. In that ocean, there are many souls. And it's not my job to try to make one fish look like the other. Don't you smoke another one. Let me explain something, y'all. When I tell you I'm an example of what healing it can be, do you not know that my community, black community, would come to my funeral knowing they have not supported? Black people don't have a problem benefiting the church world. And when I say the church, I'm talking about melanated people. They will benefit off of you. They will benefit off your inspiration. When they can't get a word from their pastor, they come to me. When they can't get a breakthrough from their ministry, they come to me. The reason why I continue in the church and the reason why I don't allow people to run me from the church is because I was assigned to the church. These people act like I'm trying to. What's up, my 69? My Renee. These people think that because y'all know how black people think, that I'm trying to take the congregation. Just the same thing I'm going through in Haitian voodoo, the same thing I'm going through in conjure, the same thing I'm going through in Ifa, voodoo. It's all, I don't care what tradition you in. It's always about money and sex and power. If you think that it's not about that, the people that are in it, it's about that, and the people that are in leadership position, because you think that I'm trying to get your woman. You think half of these preachers sleeping with the men and the women in church. So when I come along looking like I'm looking, then I'm a threat. Before you ever preach in that church, before you only going so far, and especially if their congregation responds to you, especially when they have to hear your name long after you gone, that's a problem. You thinking that y'all gonna work and network together, blah blah. They finna shut that down. If you think you're not gonna deal with that in the ATRs, in your ELA, that's why when I have so much experience. Don't I say you have never come to my tambora or anything and saw me operate in my spirituality, and you a member of my church, because I have learned once I flex, it's gonna be a problem. Everybody else can let His Spirit descend on them, and it's okay. But if I do it, it's gonna be a problem. And they're gonna make a problem. Ain't that it's a problem. They're gonna make it a problem. Because once you started excelling in energy and frequency and vibration above somebody else, they're only comfortable when I was the type of person, because I was raised up this way, and because I always yielded to my mother, my grandmother, my uncle, you know what I'm saying? I was taught, because I started so young, so even with my spiritual dad, I would be guided. And so I never had a problem following my elder leadership instruction. And so a lot of times they got comfortable because I was so submissive, and I followed instruction. And that seemed like a good thing. But that never meant that I thought you were greater than me. I don't think that because your gift may supersede somebody, that gives you a right to be disrespectful or not follow their rules and regulations. But I also don't believe because I'm following your rules and regulations that I don't know who I am and what I can really do. So one of the situations that happened with me, I told her, I said, if you made me do it then, make me do it now. I was following leadership then, but you feel like you got the power and you can control me. That's a Sagittarius. A Sagittarius, because I'm following your protocols in your ministry. Now you gonna tell your people you control me? Oh. You don't want to speak those words to a Sagittarius. I told this one preacher, prophetess, I said, I'm going to let you lay hands on me. I'm going to let you lay hands on me. But, and if I come back up with the same anointing, your ass is in trouble. If I got a devil, I'm going to let, I did in the church. I said, I'm going to let you lay hands on me. I hope you cast it out. Whatever this is that y'all keep talking about this devil, I'm going to give you the opportunity. I hope. Ma'am, sir, I hope. See, when a lot of things happen to me, it spread all over the city because I was always put in a position somebody wanted to flex their power. And since I was basically the spiritual Moby Dick, somebody, whoever came in was always trying to show they had more power than I had. I wasn't even bothering people. And that's how I got so well done by destruction. Because I would be rightfully defending myself, but they didn't take it that I was defending myself. Oh, he's sending out spirits and he this don't happen, that person. I was shutting down people's church. I was speaking over cities. Negroes were dying. Negroes were leaving. Look, I was ruthless, but I was hurt. Cause it's different when you over and you bothering people and instigating stuff, and you see why you in the situation you in. I was never that type of person because I was raised hear no evil, see no evil. I would see a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't say nothing. My pastor would call me up and say, "Come by my house, or let's go out to eat," and they would ask me what I see. But I wouldn't get up in a church and do that. And I didn't feel like there was anything wrong because I was raised like that. If I come to your house, I'm not going to be walking all over your house. But don't mean I'm scared of you either. And when I normally would do my Sagittarian thing, they didn't take it well. Not that I care. If you a fire sign, you know what I mean. When that fire is blazing, you can care less where the chips fall, who get burned up, whatever. I wouldn't tell them nothing. They try to use your good. But this is what I have experienced. That's why I tell people all the time, you don't appreciate the type of leader I am. I could have allowed a lot of the scars that I went through to affect how I allow people to deal with me. You would have never got the opportunity to be at my house right now. All the stuff that I have gone through, all the betrayal, people would come to my members and say, you don't need to remember Mario said that they came to him, Minister Mario, son of Ochosi. Church folks would come and plead with people, come out of that church, come out of that ministry, that he ain't right. But I'm protecting my flock. So when you have repercussion because you put your mouth on me, how is that my fault? You ain't even an elder in ministry. You just telling people don't go to my church because of what you heard. All you know, I whoop somebody's ass. You ain't never asked why. You didn't care because people were jealous and envy of my family. Before I ever stepped on the scene, that's why I had to learn. It wasn't about the drugs because they were selling drugs. I had a whole preacher preaching by day and selling drugs by night. And guess what? Them same church people that were against me was flocking to that same preacher. Don't worry, I killed him spiritually. Because he was one of the ones wanting me dicking down. If it wasn't the women trying to sex me, it's the men. And I really was clueless with men. When I tell you it was over my head when they were making passes at me, because my mind wasn't even there. When I tell you that the church world has grew me the hell up and prepared me to deal with anything I'm dealing with in the ATRs outside of the church. When I say I'm a professor, a doctor of bullshit, I know immediately when it's not about what you're talking about. And I start from that day making my adjustments. I want you all to know this about me because everything somebody say about me ain't false. But I can assure you this in my character. I don't bother people. People bother me. And depending on my mood, I might handle it a various of type of ways. Somebody said I was just speaking about this yesterday. You got to really be anchored. Right now, the ATRs is a fad. Everybody up in arms about the Orishas and just the ATRs. And so it's in an era where it's okay to get a reading. The church world would say, instead of receiving a word from the Lord, they're more freer to say they going to get a reading. They gonna burn a candle. But what was what was it like when I was coming up, when it wasn't cool? It wasn't, you didn't want to be associated with my magical practices. I've not had anybody to come and apologize for the stuff they said about me. And I see people every day. I know you talk about me. I'm a Sagittarius, so I don't really care. But my point is, if you believe in the principles that's in the church, you don't think you owe me an apology? Pastor, elders, preachers, ministers, deacons. You don't think you owe me an apology? Because you didn't come to me like the Bible say. If a brother be taken over in a fault, then the elders supposed to come to him. And then if he don't see it, and then you get another witness. I ain't had no due process spiritually. You heard what you heard, and you took a position. And you took a hard position with me. They were jealous of how I dress, my clothes. When I say the church world can be a very petty place, that's why I do my own thing. That's why I love Aquarius energy. Call me weird, call me different, but what you will call me is who I am, myself. You will not project. That's why if anybody get in a conversation and you project on me, I will stop you immediately. You could be my mama, you could be my daddy, my child, my friend, my lover. You can be anything. I will stop you because I have went through so much of that projecting on me what people were. Because most people will look at, if I had what he had, I would be doing this. That don't make that me. Because you will be doing that. You will be, because I've heard people tell my wife, oh, I know he always look, because he think he look better than you. I don't even think like that as a man. They will look at my appearance and assume I was unfaithful. Is that right? You don't have a right to look at somebody because they nice looking, or you find them something you would sleep with and assume, and then vocalize it to my wife. I call you intoxicating. I understand, but to say that I'm behaving in a way, I had my pastor tell me, she said, she wanted me to stop wearing, I used to wear Eternity and Obsession cologne, not my oil or my elixirs. That's why I was really into Obsession and Eternity back in the day. And she told me, oh, stop wearing that cologne because these women acting crazy in here. I told her I'm not going to stop wearing no cologne because of what's going on in here. They need to get some self-control. Like, why would you come to me about the behavior of your congregation? And I was married to her daughter. When I tell you the stuff that I had to go through in the church world, if I didn't see the purpose of ministry, if I didn't see the benefit of what could happen if people really wanted to learn spirituality, I would be more, I know I would obey God regardless, but I would be more apprehensive in moving forward. I understand now that my ministry is about who resonates with me, who really wants to learn, and the church can do a whole lot of good. I don't think the freedom of choice makes you or could put you in a situation where you feel, because now that I know it ain't no real hell, because that's something I teach. Hell was made up. And now that black people have the freedom of choice, they don't come to church. So the only reason you coming to church because you were scared to go to hell. It had nothing to do with your love of God. The more freedom you, everybody stop. I'm a Sagittarius. The more freedom a person has is what it shows what they're really into. The reason why people pray, because out of fear. You don't pray out of faith. You don't go to church, you don't go to mass, you don't go you don't even cleanse yourself because of your devotion to your ancestors and your egun. Your endeavors, whether you do it or not, has to do with some type of fear. It has nothing to do with love. And you wonder why the church and all these aids are toxic. Because if you are only doing something or not doing something because you're scared, it's not out of respect, it's not out of admiration or honor. The reason why you doing or not doing is out of a lower vibration of emotion. So I don't have to respect that. Because you're not married because you love your wife or husband. You married because you need somebody to help pay bills. It's the same thing. Your choices in life could, if they're, how I'm gonna say this without being offensive. Your choices in life are initiated out of low vibrational energy. Therefore, you could never experience what I'm experiencing and be able to go through the things that you can. I always said God didn't do nothing to me. It's the people in the church. I'm not gonna walk out of Haitian voodoo because of people that practice Haitian voodoo. I'm not gonna walk out of Orisha worship because of people in Orisha worship. I'm not going to walk out of Apollo because of the people there. And I learned that mentality from being in the church. So I don't let people determine how far I'm going to go. When somebody chooses, I know what my destiny is. So, but when somebody chooses not to help me or support me, I always believe, and I was always taught, your spirit is going to make sure you get the things you need. So therefore, because somebody tells me no, they don't stop me. When my first Madrina, she tried to block me. I've always dealt with Madrinas and Padrinos. Very Padrino Michael is the first Padrino that have literally helped me. I can't say he don't have feelings about me, but I can say that he made sure I got the tools. And he made sure that I had tools, because even practicing this religion, and I gotta give him kudos for this. Because if you're a hustler, you know when somebody's trying to help you. So when I receiving the ceremony for Saint Lazarus, and the Oba was there performing the ceremony, and he said, which Padrino Michael had already told me, I'm gonna make sure you got everything. And he showed me his stuff, and he showed me, he said, everybody. So when Oba was performing my ceremony, he said, I don't even have this. Even though I didn't think Padrino Michael was lying to me, but it was confirmation that I was receiving the full. I have the full family of. I have Nanu, Nana. I have the dog. I have the Freya, which is another Iligua. He gave me the whole set. So I haven't experienced that. And I'm gonna say something. Other than my family, I have never experienced somebody really trying to help me. And they got their limits. Padrino Michael is a first spiritualist. And I'm not saying other people didn't share stuff with me, but it was not for my benefit. I just took it and turned it into a benefit for me. There's people that don't share knowledge with me, but their motives were not right. So I can't really give you, I'm going to give you credit for giving me the knowledge, but I can't give you credit for helping me. Padrino Michael made sure I got all my cauldrons and they were done right. I done had three madrinas, and neither one of them. And my last madrina, that's how I received Oba and Oku, but she didn't start me on my way. I'm talking about who actually gave me stuff that made a significant difference in my spiritual walk. And my thing is to melanated people, if you think you're going to get out here and because you want to help people, you think people are going to share certain things with you, they're not. If they don't see a personal benefit from you, they're not going to do it. The reason why I can do it, because I can afford to do it, and I done been through certain things. But I'm also not going to let nobody use me. Don't get that twisted. But if you're genuinely trying to learn, Calvina got her first opportunity. She been scratched. She got her name. She got her ancestor stick and Paulo. But this is the first time she ever been in front of a cauldron for Centella. And Centella is her mother. And who had to give her that opportunity? I had to, as a melanated person. But if it wasn't for Padrino Michael, I wouldn't have it. Because they were not going to help me strengthen myself. They were not going to help me get it in a better position. And this is why I believe in giving people their bone, giving people their honor. If somebody did something significant in your life, and whether you agree with one thing or the other, I ain't gonna never take from you what you did for me. Padrino Michael was the only one that was fit to crown me. How and do I like everything going in the Elay and other? No, I don't have to lie and make like everything okidori all over, but his good outweigh his bad. I ain't gonna never take that from him. I'm a very determined man. I'm a man that trusts very, very few people. And that's why if Demetrius is here with me this morning, that's why I trust Padrino Michael to take me through Kimbanda. And I will wait on Padrino Michael, because when I didn't know certain things in Ocha, he didn't see me. Other people tried to deceive me. I don't believe in letting go relationships. Whether somebody charging me an extra $1,000 on whatever, or somebody charge me extra, that's irrelevant to me. Long as you do the work right and make my sure my tools are correct, that I can manifest through them. I What you want to charge? Oh, because somebody talking about, oh, you get it more cheaper over here, but I won't trust you, and I have influence with too many people to allow trying to save $1, and then you mess up my cauldrons. Because my cauldrons were prepared by my Oba that actually was in Africa. And my cauldrons are designed the same way they do it in Africa. And I know I already have faith in my spirituality before I met a Padrino Michael. Mother Susan, could you bring my tea? Thank you. Um, I want y'all to know this journey has not been easy, but I understand through what I experienced through my church experience and church journey. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure. My thing is, I tell melanated people, if you choose to run away from the church, you're going to run into the same thing in the ATRs. And if they don't have any intention of you progressing, how you going to know? That's why I share, and that's why you should be so supportive of my platform, because I'm sharing stuff with you that if you, even if you don't come my way or you never meet the people that work with me, you would at least know what you should be offered. This Calvina been at this for 17 years, and she don't know nothing. There's people initiated and they got elekes on and they don't know squat. They don't know how to invoke spirits. They don't know how to conjure. I can understand. I've been out of the church a long time and I stopped preaching because people are something that, yeah. But I want y'all to know that when you got destiny, you it's like Moses' situation. You can't let people keep you out of the promised land. I agree with you about the niggas, crackers, Latinos in the church. I get it. Me, predominantly, I deal with niggas and niggerettes. But I ain't gonna let nobody cause me to walk off the yellow brick road. It's really that simple. I'm gonna meet the challenge. I don't care how unfortunate the challenge is. I don't care how unfair the challenge is. You're not going to chase me. You're not going to run me. You're not going to make me disobey God because you don't know how to behave. So if you don't know how to behave, I got an ass whooping for you. And God gave me my own ministry in 2001. So now I don't have to worry about people not allowing me to operate in my gifts and talents, but I also have to worry about how people continuously to redirect people from my church. People still, even members. that gossip with people outside of my church, eventually they leave because they care about what's being said about me, even though they have benefited from my ministry and my anointing. When people are in trouble, they find their way to my ministry. Once that release comes, once that breakthrough comes, I am a pastor. I've been seeing this over and over. So I'm not, whether you want to admit it or not, most people are users. As long as they get what they want. My mama told me this when I was young. My Virgo. She said, Pee Wee, that's my name. She said, as long as people getting what they want, they're gonna be fine. She said, the moment they not getting what they want, you're gonna be everything. And my mother never really wanted this for me, because she went through it herself. And while with a parent, at that time I looked at her trying to block me and stop me. But when you don't went through yourself, and she got to hear what people calling me in the streets, and she did warn me, and I just thought she was being a Virgo. You just criticizing. But I'm 52 years old. I have watched black people come in my church, use and get what they wanted and walk off. Some people never got into an altercation with me and still left. I helped countless of people. So you telling me that you got situations and circumstances going on in your life, I done heard it. And it doesn't mean you're going to be loyal. It doesn't mean you're going to be faithful. It doesn't mean that you're going to stand up for what we believe behind my back. It don't mean none of that. Right now, you got a need. And that's why you pay your donation. So we have a transactional relationship, and I won't feel no kind of way when I help you. Ain't nobody going to tell me about black people. Black people have to prove that they loyal. Minister Mario proved, even in death, that he was loyal. He was the first member I ever had, and I done had some members. He is the first member I ever had that heard something and gave me the opportunity. Y'all know how much that meant to me. I've had women that I married that have never given me the opportunity to explain. He is the first member I've ever had, the first friend I ever had that came back and told me what was being said and gave me the opportunity. Whether he believed what I said or not, he gave me the opportunity to explain. And he wasn't nobody preacher, nobody pastor. He was a decent person. So that lets you know what I think about most people in the black people in the church. They're not decent people. How you say you love somebody and look up somebody and you ain't said nothing to me yet? Most black people, and I used to talk to Mother Susan about, I say it's all about being decent. It ain't about spells, it ain't about conjure. Are you a decent human being? And the answer is no. Did you get abused, lied to, and tricked in the church? Yeah. But the reason why you were done like that, because you weren't decent. You were lying, tricking in the church. So I have to deal with people. If they come to my church right now, they expecting me to not mistreat them no matter how they have behaved. Isn't that the truth? The average black person expect a pastor to receive them no matter what they have not supported, no matter what they how they left. It's all irrational. It's all a delusion. Because if you are a decent person, would you do those things that way? If you are a decent person, would you betray somebody that never betrayed you? I'm the reason why people got children. I'm the reason why people got grandchildren. I'm the reason why people got business, careers. I have been a support to my melanated people. But they have been the reason why I have had many, many manifold trials. But I still rock with my people. So when I see other black people out there fighting for the very people they got to protect themselves, I know where they're coming from. The very people you trying to stand up for, the very people you trying to make a way for, is the very people you got to protect yourself from. The very people I have literally taught people how to be spiritual. And you got to know to be talking about me. I'm the reason why you got a ministry. Your mama wouldn't do it for you. Your family wouldn't do it for you. I did it for you. I'm the reason why you speak in the tongue right now. It's my prayer life. I'm the reason, I'm the man that came up in your life, and I'm the reason why you are as spiritual today. Cause as y'all see at 52, I'm a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And anybody I'm fucking, I'm teaching. Cause I don't like dumb pussy. So I school in anybody I be in a relationship. Understand that my journey, however inspirational you may see the things I teach and share, it has not come without a price. This journey did not come without a price tag. If you're gonna practice ATRs in the church, you, sir and ma'am, must be anchored in your personal truth. And you cannot make your journey about anybody else. And there's people that they're gonna be with you for a season, and then they're gonna go. It doesn't even have to be for a bad reason. You must learn to detach. I have really been hurt um, by black people, but I haven't really been blessed by black people. I've shared plenty of disappointments, but I've also shared many triumphs. It's bittersweet. And it doesn't make it easier because I'm a black man in the church. It makes it harder because most women have no respect for black men. You would think because I was in the church that, and even now that I'm in a position in Orisha faith and Palo, that women would respect, or men, because we fuck men and women, um, whatever floats your boat. You respect the fact that nobody can say I ever made a pass at them. And that's why I suffer. Because if I was making passes at men or women, my church would grow. Isn't that sad to be able to say that? And it's the truth. If I was out here really sexing people in my church would be full. But because people hear me say I'm whorish and they find out later that I have self control and I respect my position, it's a turnoff. I can say that because it's the truth. I done had women come to my church. I done had women tell me, "Oh, I said I don't sleep with my members. Oh, I quit the church, and we got a relationship." These hoes ain't loyal. So don't tell me about black people. Everybody that come to the church do not get um every elder and pastor is not here trying to fleece the sheep. There are people that come to the church to have sex with the pastor, the elders. And I'm saying that every story you hear about a woman talking about she's the victim, that hoe came in the door with the intention of getting some of that dick so she can become the side piece and be taken care out of the same money that the first lady. And I want to say it because it's the truth. Men are penalized because they ain't sleeping around, but they are crucified because they are sleeping around. Black people are the type of people you gonna damn if you do and damn if you don't. You got to be, if you're gonna do this journey, you got to be good with that. They gonna criticize you if you don't do certain things, and they gonna crucify you if you do. They're gonna choose Barabbas every time. If you can accept that and move on in your journey, you gonna be good. You gonna be able to operate and fulfill your destiny. But if you looking for black people, melanated people, to not crucify you because you helping them, because you been there for them, you are sadly, sir and ma'am, you're mistaken. You got to take your blessings, whatever blessing God got for you, and keep it pushing. Because they want you to give up your whole soul for them to become something. And they want to give you crumbs. And I'm not going to have it. So I want you to know that I'm not a liar. And I was telling like a T.I. is then, just like I'm telling like a T.I. is now. And if you ain't trying to hear the truth, I'ma still be provided for. And you will live in all of the delusion your little heart can muster. But I believe it's my responsibility to inform anybody following me. If you think this journey is gonna be easy, it's not. All I can promise you, it's gonna be worth it. Helping our people, it's not easy. They'll pull you down back in the bucket if they could. They will level your business and level your ministry or anything you have worked so hard for if they could. I have had people literally trying to close my church. You didn't start my church. You're not the reason why I have a ministry. Why I got to lose my ministry and lose my business because you're no longer at my church. But if I turn around and say you need to lose your life because you left my church, you would think I'm mean. I'm hateful. You got to think about how black people really think. cause you leave a ministry, a job, or a relationship. Why they gotta suffer? Why can't you go about your business and I go about my business? And then when you, cause let me tell you something, you can feel or think however you want to. It's when you act upon that. When you say energy in motion. Because you feel that I don't value you, but you have shown me through our relationship you didn't value me. Black people don't have, and what I tell people, you reap what you sow. Don't put the curse on me. Don't say that I curse you. You're gonna reap what you sown. It don't go for just me. It go for everybody. The reason why this moringa tree is in my yard, because I sowed the seed. Well, Mario did. Things ain't growing up in your life because there was no seed sown. But if you sown certain seed, that's why you got what you got. How you handle people, how you support people. That's why I told my baby Scorpio, don't ever lose your business. Always fight for your business. I don't care who don't support you. The time will come when harvest gonna come in, because your dream shall live and not lie. I don't care who around me. Why wouldn't you fight for you? Why wouldn't you fight for your ideas? I don't care how many people in your family don't believe in what you're doing. I go through the same thing. But they see the evidence of my labor. Having having no support from your family does not stop you from having what God got for you. It's the excuse you use to give up. Because just as many reasons that the life gives you to give up, life also gives you just as many reasons to keep going. You got to choose. You got to choose it. And I choose to live and not die. I choose to be a blessing and not a curse. It's a choice. And once you make that choice, you move forward. And the people that resonate what you got going on, that's why I tell you guys, please support Chris. He got his own. I done been there where y'all at. I done been there where y'all at. And you got to keep persisting. You got to keep feeding your dream, your energy. Because that's all it needs. I choose to be above and not beneath. It's a choice. So if I had to climb harder than the next man, I got to run faster than the next man, so be it. But I also ain't trying to trip nobody while I'm trying to climb that mountain. I'm not trying to make it hard for somebody else that's trying to achieve their goals. Thank you so much, Stormy. And when I say I'm gonna do something, I strive to do it because I know what it's like being black and melanated, and every other genre of people support their own people. It's black people hate on other black people, and sir, ma'am, let me say this: the more real you are, the more talented you are, the more you're gonna be challenged by your own people, and they know that you are the GOAT, and they still gonna make it hard for you. And when something happens to you, they're gonna memorialize you. That's that's the ignorance of black people. We have not grown and evolved out of that yet. Now every time you turn around, it's an Angie song this and an Angie song that. But have you ever bought a ticket? Have you ever bought a record from her? Black people will celebrate you when you dead. But when you alive, they doing all kind of candle work, conjure, and bad mouthing you and slander. I hope you ready for that. It can be disheartening at sometimes, but your heart need to be fixed, trusting in the Lord. That's all I got to tell you. And there gonna be so many voices out here in this thing called life that gonna try to get you to go left or right. You better follow your ancestors. That's all I can tell you. Follow your ancestors because they're gonna lead you to the promised land. And if you can, kill a couple niggas on the way. Cause even Harriet Tubman had to bust a cap on somebody's ass a few times, not one or two times, a few times. You don't become great not having to do to people because they done decided they don't want to go no further. You won't go back and tell Massa where our trail is. So you yourself. So you want to get in the ATRs and you want to be all this and all that, ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. But you gonna have to bust a cap on a couple people. You gonna have to lay their head cold spiritually, of course. Spiritual, of course. Because they gonna fight you. And Mr. White Man don't have to be involved. They gonna bring him involved. Cause they trying to destroy something. Cause they jealous. It's all Malcolm X this, Malcolm X that. And guess what? Whoever comes behind those people like Minister Farrakhan, they go through it too. Cause everybody think that throne is um gonna give them something, and they gonna find out it ain't nothing but responsibility. Much is given, much is required. I'm telling you right now, as a powerful spiritualist myself, it ain't nothing but responsibility. Much is given, much is required. The more you have, the more you give. That's all it is. It's a lifelong of responsibility. She said, I love you. You show telling the truth. That's all it is. And when your time comes, you'll reap your reward from the divine. But niggas, they be writing books about you and how much he was a support to the spiritual community and how much he was a supportive of the LGBTQ. I don't know how the gay community. How he was such a support to melanated people. Bitch, you knew all that before I died. You all that information you were quite aware of, and you could have been supported. So my point is to say this: I ain't no different than anybody else. That the cloud of witnesses that have gone on before me. They did it to Jesus. They did it to Yahshua. They did it to the rest of the icons before I came, and they're gonna do it to me. But I want y'all to replay this video, me cussing them out. Cause that's some real bullshit. What they say, give my flowers while I live. You want to bring all them damn flowers when I'm dead? You could have bought me some ass and said, Apostle, this is a whole offering. No, you ain't do that. Now you want to come in there talking about, Lord, you done took away good dig. When you could have got some of the inches while I was living. Black people are true. I just keep it real. Some days I keep it 1,000. Some days I keep it 1,000,000, depending on what y'all what y'all able to handle. But this journey in the church world, to be real, to be honest with people, it the more real and the more honest and more transparent you become, the more people disassociate themselves with you. But I'm here for whoever I resonate with. Other than that, I like that, Stormy. Yeah, and y'all, I know it's not easy, but it's worth it. I know that's why I try to share. I try to give knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I try to give y'all roadmaps. I be looking at Demetrius. He coming here. He's supportive. I know it ain't easy. Just like, let me tell y'all this before I go. It's just like with my children. I don't allow my kids to have to explain to me about waters that I'm swimming in. I know when my son called me and he done paid all his bill, he ain't got nothing. That's why I still help him. He showed me respect. He showed his mama respect. I know it ain't easy out here. When you doing the right thing and you staying out of trouble, I know it ain't easy. When you making the right decision, none of my kids have children. Because one of the things I try, I've never glorified my whoredom. I never wanted them to be in a position that they could not support what they desire. And I also ain't here to let nobody fuck over them either. Because it's not easy in America being a black melanated man, and especially a dark skinned man. I don't care how delicious I look. Because we still live in an era, the lighter you are, the more you're able to maneuver in this thing called United States of America. But yeah, you still a nigga, but you a light-skinned nigga. And the reason why people like me, dark pigment, can offer way more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but they don't want us dark-skinned people to be the face of success and black excellence. They want something closer to whiteify, and because I'm gonna tell that kind of truth, they can't market me. Because they can't market me against white America. Because I'm going to be offending people left and right. And it's all because of the truth. It's not because I'm not talented. It's not because I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not because I can't manifest. It's simple. It is what it is. Maybe the time will come where a dark-skinned man or woman would not have these issues. But as long as we're still in pay, and let me tell you something, all black women is not against patriarchy, because you love to call a dark-skinned sister with your black ass. That's not coming from a loving place. You're not complimenting her skin tone and her melanin. You acting just like them crackers. When you call your sister a black bitch, you know it's not coming from a loving place. You're trying to make her feel some type of way because of her pigment. And I'm going to leave off of that. So you can fake it the front with other people, but don't try with Chief Apostle. I done lived a long time.